Good morning. Good morning. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Hot tea. All right, this is when I see myself kind of for the first time in the morning and say, all right, this is what we're working with, huh? So, hey, nothing wrong with that. Let me get myself comfortable. As I like to say, as I just sent out to actually the people on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. So it's kind of funny. About what time is it? 10 hours, 10, 15 hours ago. I was sitting right here on the patio, legs crossed, writing an email to the people. Good morning, Jen B. Good morning, Gail, Charla, Wit, Cups, Sweet Mama. I was sitting here, and yeah, it's comfortable for me sometimes to sit cross-legged on these chairs. So I'm sitting here cross-legged, drinking my tea. Ooh. And good morning. Good Sunday morning to you, huh? Sundays always have like a different feel. Good morning, everybody. Sundays always have a different feel where I live. I live in kind of an intersection of streets. I don't live in a fancy neighborhood or anything like that. And so often on Mondays through Saturdays, basically, the traffic going by, you can just hear it. I like to think of it as like when you hear the ocean in the background, it just becomes kind of a whoosh in the background. And sometimes you don't really notice it until its absence. And it's a lot more chill this morning because it's Sunday. People are chilling. People are relaxing. Yeah, and Sunday mornings are different. Some people, good morning from Mississippi. Nice to see you. And some folks go to church. Some folks don't. Some folks sleep in. Some don't. It's a different feeling of a day. It's so interesting how what we do gives us a different feeling. And I like to use Sundays as a day to kind of, day of rest, as they would say, and also kind of plan for the future. And I say the future, it's not like the future and rocket ships and stuff. No, it's like literally between now and next week. What's the stuff I want to happen? Yep, some people do lives on Sunday mornings. And I'm a morning person. That's why I do my TikTok lives mostly in the morning. But good morning, everybody. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered because when you hear me speak about decluttering, I love to think about it, and it's so funny. I think about it as a road trip adventure, and as I was saying that, I'm looking literally out onto my driveway to see my car, and so I use the car metaphor a lot. So road trips and driving and steering and gas in your tank and reflecting back in the rearview mirror and looking ahead through your windshield. That's kind of how I roll. That's why I call it Destination Decluttered. And I do these TikTok lives. And I also, there's a mailing list of folks that like to follow what I do in a little bit more, not necessarily in depth, but get some more like perks spiffs, I guess we used to call them back in the biz. And also the thing I love the most actually is I do one-on-one coaching with people. I have a 10-session package, one-on-one, you on Zoom, me on Zoom. Hey there. Doesn't matter what state you're in. I'm in Pennsylvania. You can be anywhere because I have clients all over the country. And I am kind of getting back into that with, making space for new clients because now most of my traveling is gone. So anyhow, that's me. Nice to meet you. I show up on TikTok like this. Trust me, I'm often on the other side of TikTok where I'm just looking at stuff and scrolling. But I like to show up on this side, on the creator side of it, because I really would like to help you with what you're stuck with clutter-wise. The reason I want to help you with it is because I know what it's like to have too much stuff. Oh my gosh, I see the pictures. I remember what our basement looked like, what our garage looked like, what it was like to move to this house almost 20 years ago, with all the stuff we had accumulated in a very short time. My husband and I, how many years? We had been barely married 3 years when we moved to this house. And it can be fun to accumulate things, especially when you haven't had stuff and you get the stuff you want. And then sometimes what we do is we also blow past that feeling of like, this is just the right amount for me. I can stop now. When you don't know what your stopping point is, you tend to overshoot it, and then you get to the kind of too much. And what was the phrase I thought of? I thought of it and I wrote it down. I'll figure it out. I'll do like a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast, maybe even this week. We'll see. But just think of your clutter. Okay, don't think of it as. Don't judge yourself. Everybody in the country struggles with clutter. Struggles with thoughts about their stuff, feelings about their stuff. Even the minimalists have thoughts and feelings about clutter. That's why they're minimal, because they have thoughts and feelings about clutter. Now, who knows where your thoughts came from? I tend to think it comes from your backseat drivers or your co-pilot. That's what I call them. But what I want you to think of is spend some time discovering how you got here. You know, like I can look back and say, you know, wow, I was X years old. We were this many years married. Like in the rearview mirror, I can see how we got literally to this place right here. But also even before that, how we were brought up to think about stuff, to grab it all or to throw it away, or somebody threw away your toys, or we never had enough food, or I'm finally getting to wear the clothes that I want, or there's so many interesting stories that we tell ourselves that then influence what we do, even today. You know, like I was just eating. I was literally, you guys, my husband had a gig last night. He came home. It was a house concert. And he came home with a little box of treats because they were, you know, leftovers. I was literally eating the frosting off of a cupcake while I was waiting for my tea. You know why? First of all, I like sweets. But second of all, one of the stories in my head is we never had snacks as a kid. So therefore, you know, I have my own thoughts and feelings that cause me to take actions. Okay? But I'm here to help you. So Shady is saying, what if your significant other is the one that hoards the clutter? And I see the smiles, but trust me, unless you're living alone, you're probably living with some other people that have their own thoughts and feelings about stuff. My husband does, definitely. I do. What I want to offer to you is this. And this is coming from a coach. This is coming from somebody who would love to have as many clients as I can maintain, they want to have the sorry, my husband just flushed the toilet, and I'm like, I can't believe he just flushed the toilet as I'm doing a TikTok live. But anyhow, I digress. What was that about other people you live with doing things you don't like? Oh, you can't change somebody else. What you can do, though, yeah, okay, that's me, Jen B, saying that, yeah. Everybody on the planet has a thought and feeling about stuff. You have different thoughts and feelings about their stuff, and they have different thoughts and feelings about yours. What I want to say is, unless they want to change, they're not going to change. Unless they see a legit reason, kind of a what's in it for me reason to change what they're doing, they're going to repeat the same habits. You know, thank you, Nancy. You couldn't hear it? Okay, I thought it was a car driving by. Trust me. Notice how, I don't want to say I have no filter, but I'm just going to share the reality of being, you know, of life here. I'm not going to, I could have pretended, but boy, my face gave it away. You can't, it's hard enough to change yourself. It's hard enough to change yourself. It's near impossible to change other people. But what you can do is you can, and this is what a destination is. A destination is the reason why, what will benefit, what's in it for me. Your mate is going to say, why should I declutter? Why should I stop hoarding stuff? I will say this, the word for me is easy, is better. It's easier to find stuff. Our relationship would be better because I'm not always pissed at you because your stuff's all over the place. You know, look for reasons that would resonate with them to kind of sell the concept of clutter. But if they don't get it, they're like, yeah, nah, thanks, but no. You can't change them, but you can change yourself. Okay? And when you change yourself, what might happen is that your mate, for lack of a better word, may see the benefits, may benefit from you decluttering your stuff. Because here's the deal. I bet you are not perfect. Let she who is without clutter cast the first, shoe. You're not perfect with your stuff. They're not perfect with theirs, but focus on yourself. Everybody, focus on yourself and say, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for you. Is that Grace Jones? Focus on yourself. Are you putting your clothes away? Are you cleaning up your dishes? Do you leave your stuff on the counter? Now, maybe you do. Maybe you are really good, and maybe it is totally out. Who is that? Jack Sprat could eat no fat. His wife can eat no lean. But between the two of them, they lick the platter clean. You know. But I want to say we're all kind of somewhere shuffling in the middle. So I say this to the people who live with people who say it's their problem. My dad passed away now coming up on 14 years ago. Easily for the first 10 years that he was gone, my mother still blamed him for the clutter in the house because she was so in the habit of it because they had been married for, I can't do the math right now, a wicked long time, you know? And well, 40, yeah, I guess, 40 plus years. She had 30, 40 plus years of saying it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his, blame, blame, blame. God forbid we look at ourselves, okay? Now, I say this as encouragement because you can also change the way you feel about their clutter. It won't be as easy, but also you say, okay, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Do I want to be in a good relationship with my mate or not? Can I let it go that they are cluttery and but I still love them? So that's just a couple of ideas, okay? But seriously, you guys, and I say this as somebody who spent decades blaming other people because obviously it was how I grew up. Out there, they're the problem, not me. Not me, I'm perfect. They're wrong, I'm right. I grew up that way. So it took me until maybe being in my 40s to even say, oh shit, I've gotten some good stuff going on in my life, but there's something missing. There's something not connecting here. And so once what changed is me, instead of looking out there, I looked in here. And I said, why are things the way they are? Oh, because it's the way I talk to myself. It's the way I talk to other people. It's the things I do. It's what I collect. It's what I don't collect. It's what, it's my feelings and how I deal with them. It's what I do when I'm feeling a feeling, So I just want to say that I am here as a person. I am not up here looking down. I am right here with you on the same journey. We're all on the same road. I just happen to be a couple of exits ahead of you. Like I am on a cross-country road trip. But we all started in Boston because that's where I'm from. I live in PA now. But we started on the East Coast and we were driving to the West Coast. I'm maybe, I'm just a state or two ahead of you. But we're still all, moving towards the same thing. And decluttering, I will say this. If you want to sell decluttering to that other person, notice why you don't declutter. Why do you not declutter? Why do you have clutter? I don't know. Notice that. I don't know. If you say I don't know and you don't reflect, you're not going to find out. What if I did know? What's an idea? And I want to say this. It's not a fault. It's not a thing. You have habits. You have habits. You have habits. I have habits. We have habits of thinking in words, thinking in pictures, thinking up here. What we think and the words that we use to describe those thoughts makes us feel a certain way. It can either make us feel crappy or it can make us feel good. And when we feel crappy, we want to feel better. So we do things that try to make us feel better. Okay? And just notice that your thoughts and your feelings cause you to do what you do. Even that is kind of, you could take that one thought that I just gave you and run with that for the day and be really okay. Because you make decisions all the time of what you do depending upon how you think and how you feel. On a road trip, okay, and we met at a rest stop. I'm thinking of like one of those rest stops on the Jersey Turnpike because we drive up the Jersey Turnpike all the time going from PA to Mass. And we're all here. Reflect on how you got here. Yes, that's therapy. That is part of coaching is reflecting back. I'm not a therapist. But the difference is coaching, and for me, is also like, here I am. How do I get to where I want to go? And this is me standing in front of the map, being like, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. I can help you with this. Kind of like a tour guide. And so that's why I show up to help you with this stuff on these TikTok lives and coaching and things. Now, Shade is saying, how do you take emotional attachment away from the things that you think you need but don't? Oh, I love that you mentioned this because notice this. Notice even the words we use. Okay, I'm going to use my coffee cup as an example. This coffee cup is something I had an idea. Every little bit helps is like one of my catchphrases. So I made a prototype mug if I was going to sell them. I had an idea and I created this mug. No, I did something on the internet. This mug came off of an assembly line somewhere overseas. It came to me in the mail. I attached a story to it. Did you hear my story about it? I had this idea, yada yada. I attached a story to it. You can detach the story from it and still keep the story. Now, notice that. Emotional attachment, emotional detachment. You can remove the story. You can keep the story, but notice what the story is. So I would start with saying, what is that item? You think you need it, but then part of you thinks you don't. So notice that there is, and this is what I always say, there's this kind of tension, there's this push me, pull you between your head and your heart, between your co-pilot and your backseat driver, saying, I don't need this. Yes, you do. I don't need it. Yeah, but somebody gave it to you. It costs a lot of money. You really should eat more vegetables, so you gotta use that steamer. Maybe, you gained weight. You got to fit into those clothes. You spend a lot of money on those clothes. Notice what your story is, okay? Notice what your stories are. When you clue into with the stories you tell yourself, it is a game changer. It is a lane changer. It gets you off of the side of the road and onto the road where you want to go. Mom to monkeys just don't know what's important. All right. Right here. This is what's important. What is important to you? Write the shit down that's important to you. I always have a notebook or my phone. If I was not doing a TikTok live, I'd be like texting myself notes. Learn what's important to you. Discover about yourself. And the stuff that was important to you last year, the year before, decades before, may not be as important as it used to be. I used to love eating, I never liked strained peas. I'm sure when I was a baby, I ate baby food. That was important to me then. It's not important to me now. I grew out of clothes because my body grew, and I'm talking more like when I was a little kid, but even now, the things that used to be important to you, ask yourself, are they still important? Clue into yourself, because unless you do that, decluttering is going to be so much harder. Decluttering is fun when you realize you're kind of, as I like to say, because we were in Malibu Beach just literally less than a week ago, and I was like, oh my God, I was talking to this guy who literally was like, I've got all this stuff, I'm building a new house, yada yada, and I was like, you actually get to design your Malibu Barbie dream home. You get to decide what goes into it. All of us get to do that, and we don't even have to live on Malibu Beach, okay? You decide what stays and what goes. You get to decide. Use that power you have to decide to create a life you love. Okay? There we go. Yeah, Mommy Salami says, I tell myself the emotions and memories are in my heart and in my head and not in the item. Yeah, the memories, the stories are here. You would look at this mug and you would just think it's a mug. This is really what it's all about. Yeah. And here's A.C. Wilde is saying, life is more important than the objects, even if the objects are emotions. Now, I will say this. I say this as a decluttering person, but you've seen, maybe you haven't, but I do TikTok lives when the weather's not as nice as it is right now, because I live in Pennsylvania, is I do TikTok lives from inside my house. You'll see them. They're all recorded, and they're up on YouTube, on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. But I say this because you will see that I have stuff in my house. I keep sentimental items. I keep functional items. The stuff that I do not have in my house, though, is clutter. Clutter is the stuff you don't want, but you're struggling. Now I feel like I could use my hands. I'm struggling to get rid of it. There's a struggle. The push me, pull you, the tension between your co-pilot and your backseat driver of what you want and what somebody else is saying. Okay? And notice that, just notice that. Notice the stuff around your house. And this is one of the things, I'll use one of my things that I use in coaching, and I love to just refer to things that we all know about in the real world. And I like to use the example of a traffic light, okay? Now, the way I do it is different, because usually if you're going out, because you're going to notice this, when you see a traffic light today, when you're driving, I want you to think of me, okay? But you're going to notice when you look at a traffic light that it's red on the top, yellow in the middle, green on the bottom. I flip it. The reason I flip it is I imagine right here on my torso, I imagine that traffic signal is in my torso, and the green light is right here. The green light is stuff I love. Green light, go, movement, forward. Green means lush and growing and alive. Green light in your heart. Ooh, I love that. I look right over and I see my little plastic pink flamingos. I love them. You know? On the flip side, on the bottom side, is the red. Red is the shit. Red is the stuff that you say, no, I don't want it anymore. The reason I say the shit is because this is what your body does every day. Your body gets rid of the stuff it doesn't need daily. So I want you to think of the things that you easily can get rid of. Trash, recycling, stuff that you don't have an emotional attachment to, whatever it is, notice that there's things that are easy. Clutter is the yellow light. Clutter is the tension between, do I speed up and try to get through that red light, or get through it while it's yellow, or do I slow down and wait for the red? It's that tension of, I want to get rid of it, but I don't. I'm afraid to get rid of it. I am afraid to not have this item. So the next time you look at an object in your house, even right now, you can look around, and here, we could play a game. We could be like, okay, look for something in your room, something you love, something you can easily get rid of, and something that you're like, I'm not so sure about it. The stuff you love is the stuff you keep. The stuff you don't love is the stuff you can easily get rid of. Clutter. Clutter is the stuff that I'm here to help you with. Okay? Thank you, Mommy Salami. I love your green, yellow, red hearts. Yes. Trust me, you want analogies. I get a million of them. This is how I talk to myself all the time. This whole road trip analogy came to me because I used to write books about road trips. I had a website about road trips. Instagram and YouTube and the Facebook and the website and the books and all that. Yet, I still was unhappy in certain areas of my life. And I said to myself at one point in frustration, I can plan such a kick-ass road trip. Why can't I plan my life like a road trip? And then I stopped and I listened, and this little voice inside of me said, I don't know. Why can't you? If your life was a road trip, how would you plan it? And the key ingredient that I noticed, and maybe this will help you, is this is why I call my coaching, my decluttering coaching, destination decluttered. Because I wasn't excited about the future. I was afraid of the future. I was resigned to a scary future. An unhappy, well, I guess it'll be this. I'll have to worry, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I said, no, I'm going to change what I'm focusing on to be something more exciting, it changed. It was a game changer. What would I do if I was on a road trip? So I ask you that. What would I do if I was in my car? So when people say I'm overwhelmed and I don't know where I'm going, I say, what would you do if you were in your car? Probably pull over, look at a map, calm yourself down, look for a road that leads to where you want to go. I'm exhausted. Okay, what would you do if you were in your car? Your car would need gas, and you need a snack too. Why do you think gas stations have gas for your car and snacks for you and a place to go pee? Always important. So you feel better. When you have peed and you have had a snack and you have had some rest, you are going to do so much better than if you try to white knuckle it and, Smokey and the Bandit it to your destination. Now, this isn't how we are brought up in a lot of ways. We're taught to drive, 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 drive. No, you've got to take a break. And I'm all about the road trip. I want to enjoy the journey while I'm getting to the destination. And that's how I coach. This is my MO, people. Enjoying every little frickin' bit of it, including decluttering. Decluttering can be fun, you guys. Oh my gosh, when you listen to the TikTok lives that I've recorded, or you've been on one of my Zooms because you're on the mailing list, you will hear my clients talk about, or people even say, I found something. I found money. I found gift cards. I found stuff I thought I had lost. It's a treasure hunt. Decluttering, you're going to discover stuff. I used to thrift. So I would happily go into a thrift store or a yard sale or somebody's basement, and I would be looking for gems. I'd be looking for stuff that I loved. I would ignore the stuff I didn't want. I'm not bringing all that clutter home. No, I'm looking for the good stuff. So how about today? When you go through your house, instead of looking for the clutter, look for the gems. Look for the green light things. What are the things that I definitely, sincerely, in a clean energy, want to keep in my house? Now, This will help you identify the things that give you that iffy feeling. And notice what it is. You're identifying how your items make you feel. Okay? Your stuff makes you feel a certain way. How do you want to feel? I want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to feel better. I want to feel peaceful, relaxed, chill, happy, flexible. I don't know. I could go on. What items do I have that don't give me that feeling? What are the things that do? Oh, I like that one. I love my mug. I'm going to keep it. What mug do I not like? The one that's chipped, the one that has a small handle. I don't care if it has the logo on it of that radio station that my husband got an interview on or something. We can use that to put pencils in. I also am at a certain age, and I don't know if you are too, but I will just honestly share with you. It is a really interesting, I definitely feel like this transition, it's so funny because today is definitely a transition of seasons, it feels like. I just turned 58. For the first 50 plus years of my life, well maybe, yeah, no, seriously, I would go, I'm talking to myself. I went antiquing with my parents from 0 to 10. From 10 to 20, I would go antiquing, and then I could thrift. And then 20 to 30, and 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. Thrifting, antiquing, garage sales, accumulating stuff, looking at stuff, deciding on stuff, getting stuff. I realized a number of years ago that I needed to stop that because I just kept on adding stuff and it wasn't fun anymore. And when it's not fun, it's because you've got too much. So I stopped the inputs. I stopped going out there. I wasn't finding stuff. You know why? Because what I had was good. I was psyched with what I had. And I had too much because I used to sell this stuff. So I had way too much. And I had to decide, what do I want to keep and what do I want to sell? But when you decide it gets you the opportunity to discover who you are now. Not who I was when I was 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 or 35 or 40 or 45 or 50 or 55. All those 5-year spans, you change. Allow yourself to say, I love who I was in the past, but this is who I am now, and I want to do something different. How freaking cool does that sound? I love who I was in the past. Every iteration of myself, I look back and love on that person. They were doing the best they could with what they had. They were figuring shit out. They were learning about themselves. I'm doing the same thing right now because 5 years from now, I will be looking back at who I am now and loving this person. So what in 5 years, what do you want to look back on yourself and say, what did I do then in 2024 that caused me to have this life now? Okay. Now, KB7029 says, I start cleaning and end up down a rabbit hole of looking at stuff. Cool, look at your stuff. Cleaning and decluttering are two different things. Just to be clear, cleaning is getting the dirt off of stuff. Decluttering is decision making. I will say this, decluttering makes cleaning easier because you have fewer things to dust. So start with your decluttering. Start with getting rid of the stuff you don't want. Then you never have to clean it again. Okay? And the rabbit hole, yeah, you can stop going down a rabbit hole anytime you want. You have to be aware, though. You have to notice when you're going down the rabbit hole and decide to consciously stop and do something else. Okay? You can do that. Now, how's this for cool things? I just saw this. Cat Mama says, found a 45 of Purple Rain in its original cover, and the record is purple. Talk about a treasure hunt. Huh? How cool is that? Decluttering makes it easier for you to clean your house. Decluttering has you finding cool stuff. Decluttering, I don't know. What else is good about decluttering? It just gives you peace of mind. You know why? Because you know where things are. When you go to find a steak knife, you know where your steak knives are. When you go to find the scissors, I don't know why I'm talking about sharp things. When you go to find a rubber ball, there's an opposite. When you go to find a colander, when you go to find a pair of underpants to put on, you immediately know where they are, you grab them, and they're a good condition. They're not the ratty granny panties you're like, well, maybe someday I might wear these, or the socks. I was talking to a client recently about socks, You have your good socks. You have the things, There we go. Jen is saying, I'm looking forward to cleaning being easier by getting rid of stuff. Yeah, seriously, I'm all about that. I am all about that. I am all about, if you ask me, why I do declutter, how I want to help you declutter. The word is ease. I want to make it easier for you. I want you to make it easier for you. Oprah, do you have a suggestion how to label sheet size sets? Yes, use a Sharpie. Use a Sharpie. That's what I do. I mean, it may look like I don't do it on this. I've done that, honestly. I put like a little smiley face like on the tag. Each set of sheets, and we only have like two or three sets of sheets. One for when we're sleeping on them, and one for when we're in the one's in the laundry. So I find the tag. I put like a little symbol on it, a little X, a little smiley face, a little star to match them up. You know, so don't overthink it. I will say this though. I did buy some of those boxes that you can kind of pretend to fold your sheets and then put them all together. Those I've found helpful because then I know that all those sheets match because we only have white sheets. So sometimes, and they were different from different brands. So I always want to make sure that all of them are all together. I'm kind of matchy that way. So I put them in a little box, those little Zippo boxes. You know, I'm not like, I buy things to solve problems. The things I purchase to solve a problem. And it was a problem for me to not be able to match up my sheets. And also I don't care if I die never knowing how to fold a fitted sheet. My life, I've got more important things to do. But I put them in a box. I take the box out. All the sheets are there. Boom, you're done. I wash other sheets. I put them back in the box. Okay. Jocelyn says, which is so true, decluttering makes a peaceful atmosphere. Yes. Certainly does, because you're walking around your house and nothing's yelling at you. Right? Linda is saying declutter one room and then clean, or declutter all rooms first. Whatever you want to do. It's your house. What's going to make you feel better? What I like to do, I will share this. I like to focus on one area at a time because I like that HGTV kind of before and after look. You know, you can also clean along the way. My husband likes to do this. I'm more of a declutter and then clean up. My husband likes to clean up along the way. I say whatever gets you moving is good. Okay, so don't get hung up on the methods. I have methods that I teach, but I'm not rigid about it. If anything, flexibility is going to get you so much more than feeling I got to follow the right process. I will say though, if you declutter first, you will have fewer things to clean. You know? So notice that. Yeah, Kim says, hotel I worked at used a Sharpie to label the sheets. See? There we go. There are so many ways to do this. The one thing I will share though, from the years that I've been coaching and just talking with people on TikTok, the thing that it seems to jam people up is getting started. So if you are struggling getting started, don't overthink the methods. Just say, I'm going to declutter this room and start. I'm going to for an hour. Give yourself like a deadline. Notice the A to B, the destination. I'm starting here. I'm going to work for an hour. And then after the hour, I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go do something else. Or I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back. But tell yourself you're only going to do it for a short amount of time and get yourself started. You know? Yes, Jen, spot on. I'm looking forward to not having clutter that constantly yells, you should, at me. Yeah, the you should stuff, talk about yellow. The stuff, your house is peaceful when all your stuff is just like, hey, you, I like you. You guys are good, right? Everything's cool. Oh, wait, something's off there. What can I do to fix it? And then you do that. But yeah, notice the stuff that's yelling at you and talk back to it. Oh yeah, who says I should make a souffle? Who says I should, create a bundt pancake? I don't know what it is. But notice that there is, and this is the cool thing. This is why I got my certification as a life coach, and I'm not just, talking about putting your stuff in clear boxes. The constant information in this brain, the words in your head that cause you to feel a feeling about a chair. The chair is like, dude, I'm just a chair. You're the one who's laying this guilt trip on me. I'm just a bill, I love it. So B Moore says, fold a fitted sheet, just laying all the corners in the same direction over your fist instantly. We do that. My husband and I, it's almost like a joke with us now because we always start, we're like, okay, fold, and then we go, all right, we're done. Yes. And you know what? This is a wonderful thing. It can be, you have things that are important to you. I have things that are important to me. Nobody, the sheet police are not coming, kind of like Cheap Trick, the dream police. The sheet police are not going to come to my house and write me a ticket because I don't have, hospital corners and, a fitted sheet that's folded. Okay. Hannah is asking, Um, where are the best places to sell for you? For me? You don't care what it's for me. How about you? I'm afraid. Notice the words we use. I'm afraid. I have a fear. I have a fear that the process would be slow, but some items are new. Well, here's the deal with this is how I approach this. I live in Pennsylvania. I know in my town the places to go to do things and sell things. You may live in a different state. So everybody's situation is going to be different. But if you're looking to sell locally, many people recommend Facebook Marketplace. There's Craigslist. You could have a garage sale. You could put things on a free table on the outside of your yard. You could ask your friends. You could set up an Etsy store. You could sell things on eBay. You could put things in a you could go to a, what do you call it? Like when you go flea market, you could set up a flea market table. There are so many ways. Decide the one, again, here's my word, that's easiest for you. What's the easy way? I used to get my stuff together and I used to sell stuff at vintage markets. It was fun. It was also a pain in the ass, so I don't do that anymore. I am cool with letting stuff go, you know? Here's a fun thing. User 422 says, I like to play the 30-day game. First of the month, get rid of one thing. Second, two, etc. Okay, that sounds like fun. I'm all about easy and fun. If you hang out with me, you're going to realize that when I coach, I'm like, how can we make it easy and how can we make it fun? Okay? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. See, Julie Knox Realtor has a booth at an antique mall. See? What about my grandparents? What Penny's Pops of Color says, what about my grandparents' stuff? And they have passed years ago. All right. And yeah, it is a pain in the ass. Am I right? What I offer this, Penny, it's no longer your grandparents' stuff. It's your stuff. Okay? It's your stuff now. What do you want to do with it? Notice the story you're telling yourself about those items it's not mine, it's theirs. Or it was theirs and now it's mine. If it were up to me, I would get rid of it, but I can't because it used to belong to them. Notice the stories you tell yourself about items. If you don't want it, it's okay to let it go. But notice when I say that, and if you're not ready, you're thinking fear, I'm going to get in trouble. Judgment, somebody's going to be mad at me. Their ghosts are going to come and haunt me. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be mad. Somebody's going to get mad at me. I feel guilty. Okay? All right, Mary R529. I have ADHD and I find it hard to make decisions and even to start help. Yes. Mary, deal with your nervous system first, okay? Deal with your nervous system first. Everybody deal with your nervous system first. Notice how I'm talking about words in your head. Mary, the fact that you call you have ADHD, that's okay. I've got 2 feet. It's a thing. Don't judge yourself on it. Your brain is wired a certain way. But all of us can benefit from what I will offer to you. And check me out. I don't sell my mugs, so it's not a commercial. I want you to think of the word down. When you're feeling overwhelmed and I can't even start, calm down. And I say this in the most loving tone. Use the word down as your key, as your trigger to remind yourself of what to do. Because there's so many ways. Breathing down. Quieting down. Shh. Quiet down the voice in your head. Going to a place that's quiet. Slowing down. Settling down. What else do I got here? Breathe down. All those downs. Do that for I swear to God, even a minute makes a difference. Even a minute makes a difference. You know why? Again, look at me. I'm so me. Because every little bit helps. Okay? Then write it down. Write down the stuff. Whatever's in your head, whatever comes up, write it down. What are the things you want to declutter? What are the things you want to do? Get them out of your head, get them out of you, and onto paper you can look at them. And then chunk them down. Now the writing and the chunking comes later, but in order to even start, we all need to feel like we can do it. Feel like we can do it. This feels easy. This feels doable. I can do this. And then honestly, ADHD people, I know you, I love you, I am kind of one of you myself. You gotta practice. Practice gets some better, stronger neural pathways in your brain to make decisions and feel good about them. and to quiet down the, well, what if, and this, and this, and this, and this. Shh. Trust yourself to make a decision that feels good, and practice that. Practice making decisions. Practice making decisions and make a bad decision and then realize the world didn't end. Okay? Practice, but calming down your nervous system. Your body. If you're not feeling good, what can you do to make yourself feel better? Drink some water. Eat something healthy. If you can't eat something healthy, eat something if you're starving, but ideally it's something you're healthy, you know? Right. Okay. Now, Laura says, when they keep bringing more in, words of encouragement to make them stop buying. Yeah. And who's they? It can be external people. It can also be just you. You saying, well, I never got this as a kid. Well, I deserve this. I make money. I can buy whatever I want. Notice the conversations you have with yourself when you're buying stuff. The best way to declutter is to kind of stop the clutter to come in, but we're dealing with the clutter that has piled up over decades. No big deal. We're all there. So the two things you do is you knock down the pile of clutter by deciding what you want. Should I stay or should I go now? That's my really bad Clash impersonation. But seriously, what stays, what goes? And then is training yourself with new habits to stop the cluttering, because cluttering is also a method of living. Putting stuff down as opposed to putting it away, letting the dishes stay in the sink until X amount of time, opening up a drawer and saying, I don't want to deal, and shutting the drawer. That's all a habit. Okay? Julie Knox Realtor, hey, I shift piles of stuff from room to room. Should I clear one area first? You know what? Here's my gut reaction, so I'll share with you. You should start to make decisions. Never mind piles. A pile of stuff is a bunch of little things. Make a decision on what you definitely want and then what you don't want. If you've decluttered, if you're just moving stuff from one part, you're just ignoring. You're kind of, it's the elephant in the room is the decision making. When you're just moving things from point A to point B, you know, sure. I mean, you could move things out of a place and then put them back in strategically, but you're still going to have to make the decisions. So make a decision, making decisions about where they go, and then feel about the item, and if you want to keep it or not, and then deciding where does it go. Okay, and Mosey is saying the same thing. I hate when I do this. Okay, hey Erin, nice to see you. Cheers, my dear. You've got your coffee, I've got my tea. I've got the Java and it blows me. Coffee, tea, Java me, a cup. This break brought to you by the Coffee Bureau. And I don't even drink coffee. Scrap Lover says, I had an antique booth. I agree, a lot of work and time consuming. Had to let it go from a shoulder injury. You know, yes, it is. It is really, you guys, decluttering. Just remember this, decluttering, decision making. When I declutter, I have to decision make. But the cool thing is the more you make decisions, the better. Yay, more good, less ungood. Rock, lady. The more decisions you make, the stronger your decision-making muscle gets. Because you will have lived through the decisions and lived through the good and lived through the, oops, I'll never do that again. Right? You'll never do that again. But you learn from it, and then you learn what you like and what you don't like. You make better decisions. I'm making better decisions about what hotels I book because I know what I like now and more than I used to like. Now, decision making is a good thing. When you decide on something, you have an idea in your head of what you want, and then you can go get it. Then you can move towards it. I want to stay in an expensive hotel room. Well, I better make some money so I can stay in a hotel room. All right, well, how can I make money? Okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I just use that as an example from my own life. It's like, all right, this was kind of fun. I want to do this again versus, ooh, I never want to stay in that brown carpeted place in Dearborn. That made me sad. Literally, we're going. You guys, I'll share with you. We are going to Detroit in a couple of weeks just for a quick 3-day thing. We're going to see a band, and we're doing it because I cheaped out on myself a number of years ago, and I've regretted not doing the thing I wanted to do. I fell prey to my backseat driver. That's too expensive. You can't afford that. Staying in the little brown place will be fine. You don't need to. And I did, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I should have stayed in the nice place. And now it's going to cost me so much more to go back and do it again. So I'm learning from my past experiences and doing different things. Okay? Now, I share this with you because when you go through your items, when you go through your stuff in your home, you're going to see evidence of things that worked for you that you keep, and evidence of stuff, a decision you made in the past that didn't work out. Learn from that. There we go. Moa says, come to Grosse Pointe, 25 minutes away from Dearborn. You know what? Actually, I think we drove through Grosse Pointe when we were there a couple of years ago because of Grosse Pointe Blank, the movie with John Cusack. We will actually be staying in downtown Detroit at the Siren Hotel because that's the place I wanted to stay at years ago, and I cheaped out on myself. Never do that again. There we go. Oh, Kirsten, excuse me. Thank you. You're sharing great info. I'm a decluttering coach. Oh, rock on, lady. And I like the way you think in word. Yeah, you know why? Because I'm a thinker. I think in word a lot. And the funny thing is usually I can be pretty quiet. It's because I'm thinking. But these are the words that make sense to me. These are the words that resonate with me and have helped me. And I figure if it helped me, it might help somebody else. And I know this firsthand because when I was in a turmoil and I quit my job and I didn't know what I was doing, this was like 8 years ago, I was desperate. I knew I needed some help, but I didn't know, and I was very resistant to it. But I would hear people, and some people I had to translate what they were doing into words that made sense to me. Now, I am not a dumb person, but the way they were talking did not connect up to me directly. Then one day, I heard somebody on a podcast. She made me laugh. She told stories. She was like a Gen Xer. And I was like, now this person, I get what she's saying. And that person I listened to. And that made such a difference to me. I committed to say to myself, I want to show up as authentically me as I can, which is pretty easy because I'm just me, and use words that help me. Simple words, words that can relate to stuff we already know. Driving in a car, traffic signals, songs, okay? Yay, okay, you'll enjoy the siren. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you. Yeah. Yes, and I will cheers. Who knows? I probably won't do a TikTok live. I did that when we were in LA. Crap, it was only a couple of days ago. Time flies. I show up to help you because I know what a difference it made for me to hear somebody on a podcast, to read a book from somebody that made me feel like I wasn't alone, that I hadn't screwed up because I was in my 40s and still hadn't had my shit together, that I wanted to do things that were out of the norm. I wanted to marry a rock star. I wanted to live in a funky house. I wanted to have madcap adventures like the monkeys. You know what I mean? I wanted to hang out with musicians and, go on trips and, wear funky clothes and buy cool things and have adventures. For years, I was told kind of internally and externally and all the things, no, you have to do this, you have to do this. And that got me just in a big old mess. When I decided what I wanted was important and I started going for it, changed my life. Seller 268 says your lighthearted delivery takes the sting out of all this. Now I could sing something from the Police, something from Sting, or I could do da 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 da. That was the theme from the Sting. Was it the Entertainer? The Entertainer. Maple Leaf Rag guy. Remember that back in the 70s? Okay. Yeah, Mosey says, it's so impressive you created the life you wanted. I'm revamping my life now. Yeah. And here's the wonderful thing, you guys. I still have more stuff I want to do, but the wonderful thing is I am so happy where I am right now that I'm just kind of coasting along. I'm like, yes, more of this. I'm maintaining. I don't need to get a yacht. If somebody wants to invite me on their yacht, I'm available. I don't need to own a lot of shit to have a lot of fun. I don't need to own a lot of items. I don't need to go shop. I don't need purses or clothes or shoes except for stuff to cover me. That also takes the pressure off of making, I need to be a millionaire to be happy. No, you don't. So I do this as encouragement, okay? I say this because if I've done it, so can you. And here's the deal, people, too. Think about it. You're not somebody who doesn't have anything. You are somebody who has too much. You know what you have? You have abundance. You have too much. You are lucky enough to have too much, but now you're discovering that stuff you have, the quality and quantity of stuff you have, isn't making you feel good. So I suggest looking at the quantity, because that's the number of items you have in your house, and the quality. And when I say quality, I mean the stuff that makes you feel good. Okay? You know? Stuff that makes you feel good. Okay? Yeah, and it's nice. I am, because Mosey is saying it's nice you reflect and taking the time to enjoy where you are. Yes, this is the road trip part of it. I am not just going and going, no, I can't do this until I get there. No. I have something I'm aiming for. It looks a lot like this. It still is this, but I want to enjoy every freaking sandwich. I want to enjoy every day. I'm not going to deny myself joy in one day. I'm not going to postpone it because people are dying. I'm going to die. And I don't know when. So I want to make sure that if I died today, I'd feel good about where I was going, even if I wasn't at my destination. But here's the great thing. Knowing you were on your way and doing some things make you feel so much better about it. All right. Hannah is asking, do clothes need to be freshly washed to be donated? No. They don't need to. I mean, I wouldn't take them off of my human body and put them in a bag. I would wash them. But if they were clean when you put them away, they're going to be clean when you put them in a bag. Trust me, I have bought thrifted clothes for years. People will always bring them. People will bring them home and wash them themselves. Okay, so cut yourself some slack. Calm down the backseat driver who says that they need to be freshly laundered. No, they're going to get all stinky and weird in a thrift store anyway. So give them to them. What's the easiest thing? Put your clean clothes in a bag. Bring them to the place. Okay. Funny you said stuff to cover you, because I am wanting a robe like that. I got it in a place called, I can't remember the name of it. I got it in Beacon, New York about 4 years ago when I was going through my pink phase that I didn't realize I was going through until one day I woke up and I was like, whoa, everything's pink. And this was before Barbie. Yeah, so look at Beacon, go to Europe. There we go. I love it. Erin says, thanks to Beth, I talk so much nicer to myself. As you should, because you rock. All right? Joy now. Yeah. It has taken me years to talk nicely to myself consistently. Do I still beat myself up about stuff? Yeah. I'm human. But the percentage of times I'm kinder and gentler to myself nowadays is increased so much, and it reflects on me feeling a good life. Now, yep. Now, this Miracles and Money is saying, I'm continually making donations to the charity thrift store. I am ignoring but I paid this, this amount of money for it. I love it. I literally threw my David Goggins bill in the trash, said Erin. I don't know who David Goggins is, but if he made you feel crappy, throw him in the trash. Yes. I love it. Barbara and moi are in Grosse Pointe too. All right, my people. Love it. Book. Yes, got it. Yeah, you know what? I bought some books. God, there was this weird guy. I will share I can't remember his name. Brendan Burchard. Oh, what a weird chapter of my life when I was trying to find out what to do with my life and desperately. I mean, he had some good stuff in there, but man, that was kind of culty. So yeah, I definitely got rid of the books that don't serve me anymore. What I want to offer to you guys, we got like 6 minutes, okay? Today is Sunday. We've got today and we've got tonight. Who needs tomorrow? Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it's another weekend. It's one more weekend closer to September. I've heard kids are still coming back to school. I can't believe it, but I feel like, maybe because my birthday was last week, I feel like now, to me, that we're on the shoulder of summer into fall. What I say now is enjoy every sandwich, as Warren Zevon said. Enjoy your moments, and you can do that and declutter. Decluttering can be enjoyable. How good does it feel to get rid of shit you don't want? It feels liberating and freeing, and it lightens your load instead of dragging around all the stuff you don't want. Okay? Decluttering can make you feel good. Bustin' makes me feel good. Decluttering makes you feel good. It lightens your load. It stops the things from yelling at you because you throw it in the trash or you give it away. Give it away now. Okay? Decluttering does not feel as bad as you think it does. and it gets you a good result at the end. You have less stuff. It's not yelling at you. You don't have to clean it. Your place is tidy, so you don't have to smart. You know, you don't have to spend so much time tidying up. It's just tidy kind of all the time. You know, or it takes you like 5 minutes. And then if you want to clean and dust, you can do that, you know. But what are you going to do today to have some joy? And what are you going to do today? Yeah, exactly. Julie got my Red Hot Chili Peppers reference, you know. What I want to offer to you is do something today that brings you joy, and do something today that gets you started decluttering. No matter how big, no matter how small, make a decision about something. Oh, TikTok is telling me I got to sign off. Hold on. Make a decision about something that you don't want and just let it go. Let it go, let it go, you know. D Nice is saying, when are you on again? Tomorrow. I will actually have to check my own schedule to see when I'm on tomorrow. But I will say this. The people who know when I'm on tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are the people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. This is free, so it's not a commercial because I'm not selling you anything. The people on the mailing list get all the good stuff first. My clients get the best stuff all the time. But destinationdecluttered.com, scroll down to the bottom. There's a little place you put your email address. You say, I'm not a robot. You will get access to the schedule. I have a TikTok live scheduled every single day this week. I don't know when it is off the top of my head. I have to look at it. But even if I did, what I want to encourage you to do is sign up for my mailing list so you know about that. This Thursday, too, we also have I do a free monthly kind of group coaching Zoom call. So people get a taste of what one-on-one coaching can be and how can it change your life. You know, so if you want to be in the know. Now, here's a cool thing. I'm married to a musician. I love being on the list. I love being behind the scenes, backstage. I love that kind of access that nobody else gets, because all you need to do to be on the list is to get on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. You get invited to the Zoom. We've got, you know, when the TikTok lives are. You will know, actually, now I told everybody, because I sent out an email yesterday actually, that I have opened up my calendar for consultations for paid coaching. Paid coaching with me is a 10-session package I sell, and if you're curious about it and you think it's a good fit, you're curious to see if it would be a good fit, it all starts with a consultation. You get the access to that when you're on the mailing list. It's on my website too. Okay. So a couple of things to just share with you then. So there, yeah. Mailing list, yeah. Mosey said, D Nice, her mailing list tells us. Virgie says, see you later next week. Go, Virgie66. AC Wild says, interesting to see the connection between buying stuff and not making choices. Stuff is distracting. Stuff distracts you from the important things in life. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's not so good. Sometimes it's good to be distracted, and other times it's good to focus on the stuff that's important. I think this is important because I don't want you dying feeling like you never lived. I don't want you saying, shit, I wish I had done this sooner. That's why I show up so much more all the time now. The sooner you start, the sooner you're just living in a life you love. You know? Thank you for being here. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, I got like a minute. What do I got going on today? I'm probably, actually, you know, I've got some decluttering stuff I feel like I want to do in my basement. My husband has some stuff to go through, but this week, now that he made a CD and now it's done, so now he can concentrate back on his stuff, but I'm going to concentrate on my stuff first, okay? I want you to do the same thing. Decision making, decluttering. Have fun. Let's get it done. Let's have some fun. Let's make it easy, okay? Yeah, I will see you sometime tomorrow. Bye. I'm like, my, there we go. Come on, I'm trying to, TikTok is saying, oh, there we go. And the live, 116 viewers are currently watching, you guys. I know you can use the next 15 minutes to do some decluttering. I'm going to sign off now, and I trust you're going to kick ass, okay?